everybody. Welcome to another episode of Lake to Lake Girls. We are your hosts, Amanda and Tiffany. It is July 16th.
Yep.
And 6:02. Goodness gracious.
I feel like the summer is
tamale outside.
flying by. In a blaze of heat and thunderstorms.
It's not. It's extremes. They're all extremes.
Yeah.
There's never anything just like blissfully, no. It's kind of like, in your face. Look at my face. Okay? It is burnt.
You don't look that bad, though, honestly.
It's not that bad?
Yeah.
Okay. I was in the sun for literally not even an hour, and this is what happens.
Were you wearing sunscreen?
No. Moisturizer that has sunscreen in it. Does that count?
Well, if it's like SPF 15, I'm going to adjust the camera. It's like a little low. But
is it on your breasts? Oh, okay. Okay.
That's better.
We're good.
Okay. Anyways.
I'm sorry. No big deal. We do have a special guest in house with us, Cassy Harrington, who is quite the regular now for us. Thank you for coming in.
Hey.
Hi.
I think you just look tan.
Me? Do I look tan?
Yeah, you don't look burnt at all, really.
I would say I don't think you look burnt.
That's awesome.
If that's
you
your
probably
version
feel
of being
like
burnt,
you probably feel rosy.
I do.
But you don't
I do
look
feel
it.
rosy, and it's like right here.
Yeah.
It's only for. Okay.
if I was burnt, I'd be like a lobster. I would be bright freaking red.
The beautiful thing about your skin, you have fair skin.
Yeah.
So when you're 40, you're gonna look like you're 25. When
I'll
I'm
take
40, I'm gonna look like I have like raggedy old skin. But that's why I do the moisturizers. I'm going crazy with the age prevention because I just love the sun so much. Not today, but it can bite me today, but that's besides the point. Cassy is in studio today to talk to us about her experience with the mini muscle that she went through on Saturday. It was Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes, that you went through.
Sounds like an excruciating.
Participated. I already asked the question, but you know, the heat wave waited till this week. Thank goodness for everyone participating.
And it was actually kind of overcast on Saturday, so it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't horrible.
And then the best thing about it is you swim first, so you spend the rest of the race and your clothes are wet, unless you want to take extra time to change. Or whatever during the transition. But so when I got done with my run, my shirt was still wet, and I was just like, "Oh, this is pretty nice." I didn't even realize it was hot out until I stopped moving. And that kind of sucked.
Now, tell us, how did you actually do in the race itself?
Well, my goal, I think, was to get in better than 2.5 hours. I finished in 2 hours and 14 minutes. I would like my dream time would have been under 2 hours, so
that's just in preparation for next year, right?
Yeah.
And this is you doing it on, 2 times in the water?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Twice when I could actually swim. Once when the water was so cold that I couldn't breathe, so I gave up. But I swam twice. The swimming was definitely the most difficult and challenging part. However, I did the novice group, so that means that I started last. I was the last group in the water, and the people volunteering were instructed to keep close eye on us. Like, we were given red swim caps. Everybody is in a different, there's like 7 waves, I think, and everybody has a different color, but I noticed that mine is like danger, like they might
keep
drown.
an eye on me.
Yeah, make sure that red head isn't like face down.
Exactly. So, but then like you swim through the marina and the canal. Seaweed, not so great, but it's a narrow area, so they have kayakers donated
along the way.
Buzzy Guppies, actually.
Yay, Justin!
On each side of the canal, and however, like maybe 10, 15 feet, and you're allowed to swim and grab a hold of the kayak.
Oh,
and
nice.
Rest, and swim and grab all the kayak and rest. And so when
there a lot
the
of people
elite
doing
swimmers
that?
were going, the kayakers were just like, okay. And then the red caps get in the water and they make it narrow. And they're like, come to you. They can't advance you, but you can still grab a hold of them, catch your breath, and then keep swimming, because you can't touch bottom at all during the whole swim.
Now, how long was the swim?
Mine was 750 meters, which is just under a half mile.
Okay.
It's like 0.46 miles. which seems like 10 miles when you're in the water, but because of the kayakers, and I have no idea who she is, but there was a lady who helped me towards the very end of the race. There was only I was probably 3/4 of the way done, and she was like, "You have a great stroke," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I freak out when my face gets put in the water." I'll swim, and then I'll realize that my face is underwater, and I'm like, and then I don't know. So I got over that, but she was like, she stayed right next to me, and she was like, "Okay, get in 10 good strokes, and then you can rest." So me being me, I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna do 15." And
this lady,
she coached me all the way through to the end, and I was like, I have no idea who she is, and I would love to just write her a thank you letter. She was awesome. But I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you what her face looked like because I was so dialed in to actually trying to look like I knew what I was doing in the water. And then
came the biking.
So you get out of the water, you go up a ramp, and I got to the end, and I could tell, like the lifeguard or whatever was telling the volunteers, "Help her up out of the ramp." I'm like, yeah, I need it. So I get out of the water, and everybody was, I guess there were probably only 2 or 3 people that were in the area from the water headed towards the bike where we have our transition area, and they were walking. And I thought that I had to walk. And I was like, "Mom, what's going on?" I want to try to run. So I did a race walk all the way to my bike, thinking I was breaking the rules. But apparently the people who got out of the water in front of me just didn't have enough in them to run. So my transition took a little longer than
you live and you learn.
It to.
Yeah.
I'm just, all these things that I can make note of for next year. And then you get on your bike and you go, the mini muscle was 16-mile bike. And you go out and you do a big loop, and then you come back to the park to the same spot where you had your bike before, and you drop it off, and you take off your helmet, and you go out, and then you run down the shoreline at the state park.
Which is, what, almost 3 miles?
It's 3.1 miles, so it's exactly a 5K.
Yeah, so it's, if you break it down, it's not as scary, but when you actually are out there experiencing 750 meters of swimming.
I tell you, as soon as I got out of the water, I'm like, I got this in the bag. It's done. It's over with. The hardest part is done. You just got to do it. But, it wasn't, the bike was fine. The only challenging part was getting up the hill from 5 and 20. You turn off of 5 and 20, you go up 96A, and you head towards the hillside campus or Ovid or whatever. The hardest part was getting up that hill, going out to Carl's or the country stop.
The country stop, yeah.
So
and then you have that curve back around, or do you go straight?
Then you take Yale Farm Road. Yep. And you take Yale Farm down to, that's just you basically put your legs out.
But just hold on tight, and you're like,
down the hill, and you get onto East Lake Road, and you take East Lake Road back to 96A by Ventosa, and you take 96A back to 5 and 20, and then right on 5 and 20, just past that underpass or overpass where I think the railroad tracks go. There's a tiny little fence that you'd never even realize was there, and then it's a gate that they open up for the race, and you go back to the same transition area. It's awesome.
And did you do any change of clothes or anything?
I actually didn't. There are people who wear a wetsuit in the water because it adds buoyancy. It's cheating. But it's also very difficult to get out of the wetsuit.
I have to say, I feel like that would make your transition
though,
long.
When we were getting ready, you have to go beforehand and set up your transition area, and they have rack. It's just a steel bar, and you're supposed to put your bikes every other. So on this side of the bar they have a bib number, and this side of the bar they have a bib number, and they're only this far apart. So you're packed like sardines. Bike.
Yeah.
And so we set up, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to need my towel first, put that on top. You're going to want your socks next, put that next, and then your shoes, and then then my helmet, and I ended up sticking, food in my shirt so that when I went out on my bike, I could eat it at, mile 5 or 6. But while we're setting up, there's this guy who's come on over if you want us to lube you up. I got lube. And, like, I'm like, what's going on? Is this some, like, what's going on?
I did not anticipate this.
Yeah, so, like, I'm like, is this some, like, bike lingo, jargon, triathlon, something? Apparently they have this spray stuff, this is what I think it was, because I just kind of walked by and was like, not looking.
Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact.
Like a spray that he sprays you down, and then you get in your wetsuit, and it like keeps it like damp in there so that it slides.
It's easy to take off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
interesting.
maybe you can try that next year. Well, the way you're talking about it, I kind of want to like.
It's awesome. I
try
highly
it.
Suggest you do it.
It's the swimming again. It's what's gonna get me.
I'm
though.
actually really into it so much that I might do one in September. There's a Finger Lakes Triathlon on Canandaigua Lake, the first weekend of September.
Really?
Maybe, yeah. It's the 8th, actually, the second weekend of September, I think.
How much does it usually cost?
It's $80 now because it's past the June 1st deadline, early bird discount. It's $80 for registration, and then because all these races are certified by the United States, I think it's USAT, United States Association for Triathletes or something. But you have to either be a member of the Triathlon Association, or you have to pay $12 for a 1-day membership.
What?
Really? That's
Kind of
interesting.
absurd, but it's
Now, is that comparable to what you did, or is it longer?
it's the race.
Yeah, for
I think
this
it's
one
the
in September.
same swim, 13-mile bike, and then swim
Nah.
run. So it's actually shorter.
Oh, it's shorter. Wait, what?
I biked 16 on Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did 16. I feel like 16 miles on a bike.
It flies by.
I'd like to say, I feel like it's
Yeah,
not
as
that
long as
bad.
it's not all uphill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
do you know if the path runs the same every year?
It has, I think.
The past 10 years. I mean, it was his 10th anniversary
this
year.
was the 10th anniversary of the race, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, like anybody who I've asked about the race, I was talking to people who'd done it for like 6 years in a row, and they said that they didn't say
Change
about
anything?
changing.
Now, what's great, this race is highly regarded. It's one of the top 8 races to triathlons to do in the United States, according to a a magazine. I saw it on the release that they send out every year, and I talked to Henderson at the radio station. He comes in every year and talks about it on Ted Baker WGVA 96.1, and he does an interview and talks about everything. This year they did something new with Heather Boyum. Were you there for that part? The Heather Boyum thing? Where, you know, the Fairport teacher last year who was killed
Yes.
in the double hit and run.
They did a moment of silence for her
They-
before the race.
and they
during the
had an
pre-race
award.
briefing.
Yep, and they had an award for in her memory as well. They gave out an award in her memory because she did the triathlon as well. She's a huge athlete. She's just big into the biking and big into the racing and the 5Ks and everything. I mean, in light of, I wanted to bring you in big time because in light of everything that happened over the weekend, it was kind of a tragic weekend in terms of the Musselman. One gentleman lost his life because gas ran out in their car and he accidentally ran into the car, and I think he broke his neck or something like that, and he passed away.
That's such a freak thing to happen.
Yes.
It's an accident. Is exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
One time something like this happens in 10 years.
It was out of the control of
Anybody.
basically anybody. And
Who could
what
predict
a lot of
something
people
like
are
that?
saying is how could you ever be that, non-observant? But if anybody's ever paid attention to, he was one of, I heard, but I'm not sure.
He was
that
leading somebody.
He was leading.
Yeah.
He was leading the race.
Yes.
The elite bicyclists, they hardly pick their head up off the ground because
Yeah.
they have to keep themselves so aerodynamic and I could totally see how it would happen. There's a lot of criticism about it, but it's just unfortunate.
There is a lot.
It was an accident.
We
and
posted the story, and it's everywhere. Everywhere you go, you're going to see it. And there were people, and this is where I got upset. I got upset. I went on a rant about it on the radio station on my morning show. Someone made a comment about how it's going to be a lawsuit and da-da-da, and prepare. I said, the first time something like this happens in 10 years. And, you don't hear anybody complaining until something like this happens. Oh, it's so great until this happens. How could they have predicted
Exactly.
this?
And how could you... I mean, there's hazards to this race.
There are.
During the pre-race
and
briefing,
how could you predict anything like that?
During the pre-race briefing, Jeff Henderson addresses every single athlete. It's completely silent. Nobody talks. Safety first. Look up. Make sure you're aware of the traffic. They don't,
It's on main roads. I mean, that there's hazards.
Right. And there's traffic still going by. Like,
there's
Only
traffic.
part of it is, literally blocked off.
And there's a rule, too. You're only allowed to take 15 seconds to pass somebody because they don't want you hanging out too close to traffic and the shoulder. And it's just unfortunate.
It is.
They couldn't have done anything different. Even blocking traffic still wouldn't have saved him. But.
Nope. And it's how someone ran out of gas. How do you predict?
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I say first time in 10 years. And then on Sunday, Lin Lang Zhang, she fell off her bike at a water stop. She got airlifted to Strong. She was in critical condition, but good news for her, when I called the hospital yesterday to get an update on her, she had gone from critical down to guarded, which is a step down, so she is on the mend. And they actually even patched me through to her room, but I don't know if she was sleeping or anything like that. So if she's good enough to be talking on the phone, I'm pretty sure it looks pretty good for her that she's going to be making a recovery. So I'm curious. I would like to ask her. I would like to get her opinion. I would say, would you still do the race again? Even though this happened, would you still do the race again? And I bet you, if she is into this kind of thing, she'll do it again in a heartbeat. Yeah. It's not going to deter her from doing it just because a freak accident happens, just because something like this happens. I mean, are you deterred from doing it? Because, I want to do it.
I can't wait to do it next year, really.
And you're convincing me I want to do it next year with you, so just keep me to my word.
The novice group was sponsored by Bellhurst, and we all got a bottle of wine at the end for finishing.
Did you really?
Nice.
I will swim for wine.
You should make that a shirt.
I was just going to say that. You should put that on a shirt. We'll swim for wine.
We got
That's
a bottle
great.
of Neptune.
Ooh.
Which is like one of the only semi-sweet wine, I think. Just in my wine cooler. It's calling my name.
Now, what other goodies do you have over there, I see?
Well, also with our bottle of wine, we got a medal, which
Did you bring it?
Did you bring it?
It's on my medal rack at home on my wall. Okay. But it's actually I think they're made by I don't want to quote it wrong, but like a TBI institute or something, like or Finger Lakes, like mental, I'm not sure. But they were mussels. They were cute little mussels, and they had squiggly eyes on them. Aww. And on a ribbon. And so that's what we got for finishing. And actually, a couple of the people that I did the race with, they didn't sign up for novice, and they were like,
oh, so it's just the novice group.
Novice group.
Oh, okay.
Made me feel special. And then, so in your goodie bags, I just brought some of my favorites, but we've got a little muscle man.
Oh my god. It's a muscle riding a bike.
So,
oh my god.
Was the muscle mascot there?
No, but I have one on my own. He's cute. It's a little swimmy muscle. And then your race bib has your name on it, which is cool.
Nice.
That is cool.
Now, you did it with
Alyssa.
Alyssa, yes. Mm-hmm. And how did she do? She
beat me. She did very well. She, I think, finished in very close to 2 hours. So. Was she in the novice as well? No, she was one of the ones who was sad that she didn't
overachiever.
Get into the novice, but she did very well.
That's what you get.
And her bike was way better than mine. And
so I don't know if this is a stupid question, but can you only be novice like your first year? Like
no,
next year?
I was just going to ask that.
You don't have to submit or prove anything to be a novice.
Okay.
And you're not like scored. You don't have a chance of winning your age group. I'm not going to win my age group.
Uh-huh.
I'm like 25 to 29-year-old females. And
There's some really scary ladies out there that are like intense about it.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, I'm not
hardcore.
there to win. I'm there to finish.
Yeah.
So I probably will sign up for novice again next year. But I was talking to people prior to the start of the race with red caps on, and they're like, "This is my 7th year doing it. I do it for the bottle of wine." I'd love to hear that.
That's so funny. I mean, it sounds like you get quite the goodie bag for, the novice group.
Well, like, anybody, not just the novices, but like you go, the registration packet pickup was at Hobart, and they cycle you through this long line, and you grab like shot blocks and I don't even remember, like power bars and all these awesome goodies. I also have a magnet that I have on my refrigerator that's red, and it says "Keep calm and muscle on."
Oh,
nice.
I like that. Chive, baby.
Yep. There were a couple people who were wearing the shirts. I think if they were selling those puppies, maybe they were. Maybe they sold out.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would have been like,
bought it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I want one.
We should recommend that to Henderson, just so that we have it for next year, and then I can get one if I do it.
It's really awesome.
Now, tell me about your bike. Do you have an actual race, like serious bike, or do you just have a regular bike, a mountain bike?
I have a hybrid bike, so it's in between. It's not as heavy as a mountain bike and not as light as a road bike. If I had a road bike, my bike performance probably would have been a little better, but because my bike weighs like 15 pounds instead of 2,
I know it makes a big difference.
It's an extra 15 pounds you're lugging up a hill. So, but I had road tires put on it instead, because my hybrid tires are, again, right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But my race tires, they scare me a little bit. It was my first, I had them put on the week of the race. So that was my first long bike ride with road tires. So that was a little probably not safe on my part, but it happened. And
you did it, you learned.
The tiniest little, like, crack in the road, or you hit gravel, and it's very difficult to maintain control of your bike. So
that sounds scary.
What to say? That sounds a little intimidating.
Now,
but I am in the market for a road bike. If anybody knows anybody who wants to sell a road bike, you should see some of the bikes that like the pros have.
They were
like,
intense. I was watching.
Crazy, like
I was on my way to a wine tour.
Fancy. Tiffany leans out with a glass of wine. Hey guys,
I'm having fun.
Keep it up.
You're great.
They have like these things that cover the spokes so that it's more aerodynamic.
Oh my gosh!
So when they drive past you,
Can you imagine?
Makes the coolest sound. It's like,
yeah.
Because when I got on my bike and I had it out, there were people coming in already, finishing the race.
What?
But they started a half an hour before me.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. Good point.
In my defense.
Just so you know.
Started a half hour before me, and, they do it for, like, a living.
Now, worst nightmare in the entire world is, and I saw this on my way to my wine tour. Okay, I had not been drinking yet. All right. 2 of them, actually, right in the row, about maybe 100 yards away from each other. Broken down bikes.
Oh.
I passed a lot of them.
Worst nightmare in the entire world.
What do you do if that happens? You just have to stop?
I would have walked to the nearest house and called my fiance and said, "Come get me, I'm done."
Yeah. Oh my god.
But you would see them, some of them were trying to fix it.
Spares on their, a lot of them carry spare tires, and they fix it, and then they keep going. Like, obviously at that point.
One was a chain, I know.
Chains fall off all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot.
It's your worst nightmare. You're preparing for this.
Wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're preparing for this all this time to put into this, and the
money
you put it into your bike, and then you go and you ride. Like, that's really the biggest, aside from like hurting yourself in terms of muscles or whatever that keep you from the bike is where the most can go wrong.
Yep.
And I felt so bad. I was like, they paid all this money, and if they can't fix their bike,
But, some of them, the elite group, like the first group that starts right at 9 o'clock, they probably are on their way to another one this coming weekend.
That's true.
Just what they do.
That's true.
It's true. Some people do that for fun.
Yeah, I was looking at
like every weekend, which is great.
Who says I want to go do a triathlon today?
I think it's awesome.
Now, but you're not.
To be honest with you, I'm
considering it now.
Certainly see myself doing this more than training for I kind of had an unspoken goal to complete a marathon before I turned 30. And, well, my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I'm getting closer to that mark, and I just don't ever want... I don't think I have... I don't know.
I think you could do it.
I think you could do it.
26.2 miles.
I think you could do it.
If you really wanted to, I think you could.
So the guys who were racing on Sunday do a 1.2 mile swim.
Yeah, now this is like the big Papa version of the
56 mile bike, and then they run a half marathon at the end, 13.1 miles. Like, I run half marathons, and the thought of swimming and biking prior to that, 56 miles, holy cow.
That kind of blows my mind.
But then even more mind blown, that's considered a half iron. So Ironman,
that's true, yeah.
Ironman is twice that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I want to know how many people actually, but that's probably a worldwide thing.
Like a 112-mile bike ride, and you run a whole marathon at the end.
Oh, my God.
I have an F word for that.
Like 2 miles.
Oh, my God. Like, I'm going to go take a nap and watch Real Housewives. Have fun.
That's where, like, the people who are, like, this big around.
Yeah, well, yeah. They have, like, 0% body fat.
Zero.
But they have jacked muscles.
But you know what I've noticed, though? The people who work in a weight room and people who train for marathons have completely different muscle body types.
Different body type.
Yeah.
Like the men who are winning marathons aren't very attractive.
Well, they're very, very skinny. Yeah,
very skinny.
Very skinny. Yeah.
But I have to say that it was kind of motivational to, like, because they make you, when you get in there, the first thing they do is they ask you for your bib number. They write your number on your arm, on your thigh.
And the volunteers all do this for you. They write it all over you.
There's
so
tons of volunteers.
You got to say thank you to the volunteers. Dang.
Yeah. And then, like, our weight is on the back of our race bib.
Why did your weight on the back of your waist?
Because if you are dehydrated and, like, incoherent, and they take you to the med tent, then they'll know by your weight how much to hydrate you.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah. So they've got all their bases covered. They know what they're doing. But then they make you write on you in Sharpie on the back of your thigh your age. So they're like, force of habit. There's nothing else to do. You're people watching, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're like, dang, I want to look like her. And then she walks past and you're like, she's 39. They're still 39.
Oh my God, that's pretty awesome.
Like the most beautiful woman I saw with the most impeccable body that day was 39. I was like, I'm on my way.
There's hope in the future.
I like this. I would ask her, do you have any kids? I really would have asked her that. Do you have any kids? And do you look like that with kids? Because I don't want kids because I'm afraid of that.
I don't want kids for many, many reasons.
I feel like that's an entirely different show. We could get deep into that now.
We could. But speaking of weather, how did it affect you? Did it at all?
It was kind of overcast, and because the swim was first, I was pretty chill the entire race.
Were you dry by the end? Well, actually, I couldn't really say that because you're probably sweating, too.
I don't really sweat.
Oh, my God.
I hate you.
I would just say I sweat like a man.
I sweat like a man. I do. I sweat like a man.
Yeah.
I don't really sweat that much until I stop moving, and then I start to sweat, but...
I get it all in my eyes and like.
I wasn't really affected by the weather on Saturday. No.
So the weather was really nice.
Very thankful that we weren't doing it on Sunday. Though, or today.
Oh, yeah. Because I did a hike on Saturday, and I'm like, I was so sweaty. I'm like, my kneecaps are sweating. Like, what is happening? Like, what is going on?
Nice.
TMI, but
That is awesome.
Yeah. So when's your next race? Like, have you signed up for anything?
Well, typically, I do a race at Seneca Meadows, a 5K, the first weekend of August, but I'm going now to be out of town, so I'm sad that I can't do that.
Aww.
And then there's the Italian Festival in Seneca Falls. They have a 5K. I couldn't do that last year because I was at a Jason Aldean concert.
Yay.
Or I was at the Jason Aldean concert the night before, and the race was early morning, and it was against my better judgment to run that.
It was probably a good life choice.
Now, would you recommend that I try a 5K before I tried the triathlon?
I would, because 5K is part of a triathlon, just so that you kind of get an idea for the race atmosphere, and like you kind of have a lot of adrenaline too when you do a race, so your performance is a lot better. Like, I know that I can get up in the morning at 6 o'clock and go out for a run, and my time will be nowhere near as good as when there's people watching me. Like,
true.
Get your butt in gear. Come on.
Because, I mean, it's not just you on the road anymore. Only you know the distance when you're by yourself. Yeah. But everybody else knows where you're at and how far you're going.
Because, too, you're always looking like, I think she might be in my age group. I got to catch up to her. I have to finish before her. What if she's third place in my age group and I don't get a medal because she got third?
Oh, that's true. Oh, that sounds so fun.
That's
competitive.
a really, right to say,
you and I, we're
the same.
We're very competitive.
Yes, same blood here.
Every time I run a race, I'm like, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die. I don't care about placing. I don't care about winning. All I'm thinking is, don't die, don't die.
Are you 26 yet? You're not 26 yet.
I'll be in November.
So run a 5K with me before you turn 26. Then we won't have to worry about the age group thing.
Okay. I'm totally in.
Either that or I'm going to knock you down before the
Oh, my God.
Like, you think you're going to beat me? Oh, bam! No, you're not. I have, like, the only thing that, like, hinders me from trying to do any of these kind of races, like the swimming and the biking, I can handle easily. But the running, I get nervous out with my knees. Only because I go running when I feel really good. And I know I'm going to feel good. And that's like a day-to-day kind of thing. Now with a race, it is that day regardless of how you feel. And I'm nervous. But I want to try it and be like, see if it's something that I can accomplish.
Leading up to a race, too, you know beforehand, like, don't do anything stupid this week because I've got a race on Saturday. Like, I played a softball game on Thursday, and I told my team, under no circumstances am I going to slide. Don't yell at me to get down because I'm not doing it. I'm not going to hurt myself before this race.
Speaking of, we won, by the way.
I know. And
super excited.
We're going to win on Thursday. We're playing against Mr. Twisties.
We are playing against Ice Cream Place?
Yes.
We should be like, you should buy us an ice cream if you lose.
They should. The team that we beat last week beat Mr. Twisties by 9 points at the beginning of the season.
Really?
Knock on wood.
So excited. We are 5-2 now? Are we 5-2?
4-2.
4-2.
You must be getting towards the end of the season, I feel like.
This is our last season game.
Yeah.
This Thursday, and then we've got a playoff game, and then
super excited.
Maybe the championship game. I don't know.
We're pretty good. As long as we're not cocky.
Well,
there was 2 instances last week. I had 2 beautiful throws to first base, and I was like, "Oh, it's here."
Tiff's like, "I got this."
Oh, I got this.
Boom!
And it
went bounced off her glove. I was so mad. That was my throw. I wanted to throw it right at your face afterwards.
I was so mad. You
like,
have no idea. Because they get to advance. If I do that, if that happens, they get to advance. Normally, I don't miss throws. Like, I'm pretty good at it, and I was just messing around, and I got cocky, and it went.
Yeah, we're talking about intramural softball.
Yes,
if we didn't mention
Finger
that.
Lakes Young Professional.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, we're 4-2. We're pretty awesome, and
we have 7 people away from our team on vacation for Thursday's game. So we've got a few subs that I hope are good.
We have what?
7 people away on vacation.
Who's away?
Wow.
Plus Ben is injured.
Ben is on vacation.
Abby's
and
injured.
Abby and Jeff are not going to be there. Justin and Mary are not going to be there, and Sam and Andy are not going to be there.
So all of the people who play, are not going to be there.
Oh, and Mike and Olivia.
So all the people
9
who
people.
play. Holy God! Who do we have 9 subs? Because that's usually who shows up to our games.
My sister's going to play.
Love you, sister. Okay.
Miranda is bringing her husband and one of her contractors to work to play.
Nice.
I know.
All right, fair enough. And then
Adam will pitch, and Jessica's probably going to catch, and
Joe.
Everybody's probably going to be in like odd places.
We play at 6:45 or 5:45.
6:45 at Ridgewood. At Ridgewood Park, which is on the corner of Ridgewood and ADA, ADA in Geneva, if anybody wants to come watch. Because we could totally use a cheering section.
If I could find subs, do you want me to bring them? I can think of 2. Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 people playing that aren't on our sub list.
Okay. Could
right
totally
now
rock this
we're
up.
good, but
Are we good?
we're good on the field. Anybody who would come would just hit.
I could just be like, listen, you're going to come watch, and if we need you, we need you. So I could do that. We'll do that. Just in case, because you never know. With our team, people get injured all the time.
Oh, yeah, people tend
Pull
to trip
muscles
over first base every time they go to first.
That's me. No, that's not even that's the other team. When I'm playing first, at least 2 people get hurt every game coming to my base.
I've
I'm
heard
not
about the
kidding.
first base. How
It's not on the ground. It's not like
it
in
like
the
trips
ground.
you up.
I don't know if it's that
Knock
because
on wood. I've
Or
never
something.
had problems with it.
me either. I had problems with third base that one game when it was all muddy and
Yeah.
we were all
It was like
like
our first
sliding
game,
in it.
wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was our first game. We were all sliding into third. But we played a red team with Adam. That one girl in center field that I said, don't catch it! And she didn't and hurt herself. Then there was...
Yeah. The Toon Squad, I think, or Riley J's.
Yep, Toon Squad. And we went to school with her, played softball. She was a pitcher. Sarah, thank you, Clayman. She hurt herself on her. Oh my God, I'm a black hole for people at first base. So if you want to get injured, come near me.
Maybe we should not put you on first.
No, I love it.
She's into it. She kind of likes
not
it.
the injured part, not the injured part, but I love first base. First base is a lot of fun. First time you put me there, I was a little nervous because I'm like, what? I've never played here before. But then I have fun with it. I love first base.
You never have to throw the ball.
I don't, exactly.
And you
Boom.
almost never have to field it either, which is good in your case, too.
Yeah. I can't do grounders.
Apparently. I put you on
At
third.
third,
I'm like,
it was
what are you doing?
terrible. I was a catcher. I'd never played in the field before.
Found that out real quick.
Yeah. I was like, put me on first. Try that. And I did it, and it's all right. It's not bad. I like it. I have fun with it. It's not too shabby.
No, you guys usually, like, if you win, or maybe if you don't win, I don't know, you usually go out for, like, a celebratory...
We celebrate
drink.
if we win or lose.
Yeah. Is there, like, a usual spot that you go
We
to?
don't discriminate.
Typically Eddie O's.
Eddie O's. Mike and Olivia had us over.
Yeah,
but I
actually,
didn't
we
get to
have
go to
two
that one.
teammates that just moved into a new house right around the corner from the field. And
They're like,
twice now,
margaritas
they're
and
like,
beer!
Oh, that's cool.
Taco night.
Taco Thursday. Nice.
It was Taco Thursday.
And it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. They're
That's
a
really
fun
catching
group.
on. I feel like everybody's Taco Thursday.
Is it?
The Groggery's doing Taco. Maybe it's Taco
That's
Tuesday.
the first I've heard of it.
I don't know.
I don't get out. I
tacos.
have no life, so it's okay.
It's all right. But yeah,
I'm working on it.
It is a fun group. We have a lot of fun.
And then,
I know that there's talks too of a pickup soccer, whatever, just like getting together and just playing soccer. Saying let's meet at this soccer goal and kick the ball around.
see, I would love to. Ow. And actually, I might. Well, no, not even that, because I play with the girls when I coach. That's where it's going to be difficult for me for fall.
So you're going to start coaching again.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen to the show?
The show is going to be fine. What I'm concerned of right now is...
You're never gonna have Tuesday games?
We were
Aren't they
Monday,
usually done?
Wednesday. Oh, they're done. Yeah, they started at 4:15. Because I had the show last year. We were here last year, and I was all right. It's away games. If there's an away game, there's no way.
Naples, Bloomfield,
Yeah.
HAC.
Any away game, pretty much, because the Sales is the only closest one is to Sales, and that doesn't exist anymore.
I was just gonna say
Because we don't play
that's right.
Waterloo, we
Yeah.
don't play Seneca Falls. I mean, South Seneca, I guess, wouldn't be too bad, but this year I'm worried because
Now, do they have joint teams?
they
Soccer?
changed it. Romulus and South Seneca are not together.
Ever?
Not
Any
for
sport?
girls. Not for girls.
Okay.
I know that volleyball is mixed still, and I know that boys soccer is mixed. But they changed everything. Are you ready for this? It's now Mod A and varsity for girls. There's no
What?
JV soccer
Really?
at all. It's 7 through 9 and 10 through 12. And originally, I voted against it because I was like, there's 3 levels. There's a reason that there's 3 levels because of the different skill ability. When you're in 7th grade, you're nowhere near a 9th grader in your ability. Unless you're a freak of nature. I have a few of those on my team, on varsity, that are good enough to be up on varsity. But now it's literally Mod A varsity. And originally I was against it, but what are you going to do when every other school is doing the 2 teams? I would have no one for my JV teams to play.
Well, I know, 5 years ago or more, they asked me to coach modified. And we had, I went to, their JV and varsity preseason, few practices, and then all of a sudden they had, modified sign-ups, and nobody had signed up. There were only, 3 girls. So they moved them all up to JV, and I said, okay.
Wow.
Now, kids are just more interested in sitting around on Facebook. And
that's what I'm also having troubles with this year. Is a lot of my kids, not a lot of them, but 3 are not playing because they're using the job excuse. They have a job and the job will not work with the schedule for soccer. Granted, I haven't even given out a schedule for soccer. How do you know that?
That's interesting, yeah.
But in terms of fall, it's by law that when you're a teenager, a minor, that you're, as a job, if you're being hired, you're supposed to work around students' schedules. But I can't make them play, and hopefully by the time the preseason comes along, they're going to be like, all right, I really want to do this. I really want to get into this. But as of right now, I have 15 playing. And then I have a whole bunch playing on Mod A. Whole bunch. I think there's 30 of them. Whew.
So who's coaching the modified team?
I don't know if it's final yet, but the girlfriend of a teacher who has had experience before, I think. I don't know if it's final yet, though. I've never met her, so I'm not sure.
It's difficult to find coaches because you got to be there at 4 o'clock.
I have to say, because if you work till 5 or something, that's hard.
It's
5 days a week.
Buses leave at 2:30 for away games.
It's going to be very difficult for me. I really have to figure this out because I've been working 5 to 5 every day. Mm-hmm. I have to figure out scheduling, and I'm nervous about how it's going to work out. I work 5 to 5 because my boss has been ill. They're projecting him to be back by the end of August, but so I have no idea what's going to happen. My life is up in right now. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm very nervous. I'm very type A. I like to know what's happening, when, where, why, if, how, all that jazz. And
it kind of puts a knot in your stomach, or a pit in your stomach, where you're like, I would like to know what I'm doing in 2 or 3 months, and no idea.
Yeah, I'm very nervous. But luckily I have Heather Higby, who's going to be helping me out as an assistant coach.
She's awesome.
Isn't she? I love her.
She runs too.
Yes, she's a very big runner. Last year she was actually going crazy because she hurt herself. And she went 3 months without running at all, and she got
I would go stir crazy.
Crazy.
It just becomes part of your routine.
It does.
It's just it's part of your life, and if you can't run, you literally start to you don't even know, pull your hair out, literally.
I
crazy.
I worked out 2 hours in the gym today, and I went for a run right afterward at noon when it was really hot.
Oh my God,
sounds a little crazy. I want to go.
I couldn't help it
tonight, but I want to go at 9 o'clock.
I couldn't. That's what I usually do. I usually go running I'll go home after work at 5, and I'll rest and I'll relax and eat, and then about 8:30 is when I'll go for my run. Is when it starts to cool down. Yesterday and today, it wasn't horrible. It was bad when I stopped. Today. Yeah. Today was bad when I stopped. Yesterday it was breezy.
Because we run so fast that the air hitting us.
It's just
You know what I hate is when you go for a jog and you're going one way and then you turn around and the breeze is not there.
Yes.
And you're like, come on.
It's miserable.
Where did you go? Yeah.
I agree. But anything else that we not cover about Musselman? Because, I feel like I wish I had more questions in my head right now.
I just say I can't
I think we covered
I
everything.
highly
Distance
recommend that anybody who's ever interested in doing a triathlon start with the mini muscle or sprint, as they call it. It's a very good beginner transition. Nothing. You're not doing anything long enough that you think you can't survive it. So as soon as when you're like, I am so over this swim, you can see the finish line. And it's the same thing for the bike and the run as well. And it's not so intimidating. And I've run half marathons. Training for half marathon is, I think, more excruciating. Going out for 10 to 12 mile runs is not as fun as going for a bike ride. I think that's recreational to me.
That
fun.
makes sense.
And swimming.
And I think with the triathlon, it's mixing it up. It changes everything. So you're not just doing one thing. It doesn't get boring.
Swimming and biking are very, very good for your body too, and it's not as much wear and tear as all the running,
lower
on
impact.
Your knees. So I really think for you it would be a good thing for you to try.
I think I'm in for next year for the Musselman. The mini.
Let's clarify now.
Let's be real.
Make sure you go novice.
The
Get the wine.
mini muscle. So as soon as you buy yours, let me know and I'll buy mine. And then I'm in, and I can't.
We'll do it early.
Yes, and then I can't back out because it's money, and I don't do that if I spend money on
the
it.
earlier sign up is cheaper too, but it is. I normally when I'm done with a race, I always say to myself oh, they could have done this better. They've got it down. They've got all the arrangements down, and you think to yourself beforehand, why did they tell you that? And then you get there and you're like, oh,
right.
So it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. It's 6:49. We're going to end the show. We'll see you guys next week, next Tuesday. Oh my gosh,
Summer's going by really fast.
it's unacceptable.
Kind of over it though. Not gonna lie.
Well, after today, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm
all over this humidity, 90 degrees. But anyways,
I'm super excited about fall. Fall's my favorite season.
Me too.
The cutest
I love
clothes
it.
come out in fall.
And it's like
Is that really
relief.
sad?
It's Cassie's looking at us like we're crazy. I don't know.
Fall is my favorite.
I'd rather be a little too cold than too hot.
My season's favorites change with my age. I think I used to love summer because I didn't have school, and now I love spring because I can't stand being in the gym all winter long. I used to hate spring because it was muddy and
Yucky.
Yeah.
But now
Spring, fall. I like the leaves changing. It's all so
It's
pretty.
just so pretty,
and especially
Fleeting
here,
but pretty,
here in the Finger Lakes, it's gorgeous.
we took a ride. Just really quick story. We took a ride down to Naples to get a pie.
A pie?
Fiance wanted a pie.
They're so good.
Good pies, yeah.
They're the
Drove
best
all the way
pies
there.
ever.
Route 21. If you take it from Canandaigua all the way down into Naples, most beautiful ride I have
With
ever
the
taken in my
hills,
entire
I want
life.
to
the
take.
trees.
Have you ever hiked in Naples?
No, I don't
Oh.
hike. Actually, I've never hiked.
Do you want
like
to? Do you guys want to go for a hike in Naples in the fall? Because it's
I definitely
Everybody
would
bring
go.
your cameras.
Yeah, Instagram. No.
gorgeous.
Video it.
Yes, it's amazing. It's beautiful.
It is.
All right, you guys.
Really nice.
Well, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week. Lake to Lake Girls. We are your hosts, Amanda and Tiffany. Thank you, Cassie.
Bye, guys.
See you guys next time.
Stay cool.
What time are we going on Thursday? 6:45? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I can't stop touching my legs. It's amazing. Is it? And it's like a mousse. It's not like a mousse. It's actually, it goes on like a lotion.
Oh, really?
Like spread into your leg. Holy cow, I hunted that shit down. I